Like, it's really easy when you realize how lazy most people are. I do this one thing that helps me land jobs no matter how bad the market is. And the only reason it works is because other people aren't doing it. So I was following up on my interview applications. You have to remember that when you apply to a job, you're just one out of thousands of people. When I apply to a job, just as quickly as I hit that apply button, I send an email off to the hiring manager, or even the director of the team. And sometimes when I do that, I find I even bypass the automated job application processes. Now you might be wondering, who do I follow up with and how do I even find these kind of people? Don't worry, I'm going to show you exactly how. First, pull up the job posting and look for hints and keywords. For example, this has the team's name listed right here, so remember this. This is really helpful. Now go to the company's page and click on people. Put your keyword in here, and hopefully that's going to bring it down to a lot less members. Right here, this is really great. There's only 87 people. So down here, I'm going to start looking for the directors or hiring managers. Look like she's a director, so I'll probably go ahead and message her. Now, if you want to take it one step further, what's even better than messaging them on LinkedIn is actually getting their email. Go to JobRite and then pull up the company page, paste in the LinkedIn, and it's going to find you the email information right over here. To be honest, I think email is much more effective than LinkedIn because I've heard recruiters tell me that their LinkedIn boxes are filled up to like 100 messages. But yeah, I'm not going to lie, this job market is super tough. You're going to have to do stuff that sets you apart from other candidates and really go that extra mile. But I know you can do it and you got this. Now follow me for more job search hacks. Like,
I'm not gonna fade you. That's a really good piece of advice. I'm actually gonna I'm about to write that down. So jobright.com, right? So all right, let me lock in. Okay. Yes. So obviously like that can help you a ton, right? Emailing the hiring manager or the perceived hiring manager, which is what he's trying to say, is a great way to bypass and get your resume out there, give some context to it. Um, but at the same time, it does that it takes some little extra time. I guess if you make some little, formatted emails, honestly, I cannot shit on his method. It's a good method. I think the thing that's not being talked about is you better be like actually capable. Your resume better be sound for the role, basically, right? But honestly, that's not bad at all. I need to maybe start doing that. Not everyone's on LinkedIn. Not every hiring manager's on LinkedIn, but I think it's a great way to just get your name around and just say, hey, I'm so and so, And I don't think it's gonna literally double your chances, but I think it'll give you an extra 5%. Like if you had a 5% chance of getting each job, I think it'll give you an extra five. So maybe puts you at 10. Dude, I have nothing bad to say. That was great. That was great.
This is how you're going to get a job in 2026. Please share this with a brokey, a friend, the unemployed, the lost. Okay. I've helped over 200 people get a job in the past 12 months, all the industries. Patrick, do you work with? Yes. 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 Okay. McDonald's to chief financial officers. I've helped everybody. Long video. Grab a snack. Come on back. Let's this video. On your LinkedIn has to relate to that. Let's go back. One job title, one niche, one industry. It all needs to be centered around that. Essentially, ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying we are creating a brand. Your resume has to match your LinkedIn. That is your brand.
That's man. That's a good piece of advice that people don't really think about. Like you are building a brand. I mean, whether you think it's a joke or not, you have to build a brand of quality that speaks to who you are as an employee and what you're capable of doing. If you work at Fortune 500 companies and that's all you do, that's your brand, right? If you are someone who's more of contract work, right, freelance, that's your brand. And it will show whether you want it to or not. And then on top of that, your resume needs to match your brand, right? As someone who spends a lot of time on LinkedIn and on my resume, I'm constantly thinking about like, hey, is this framed correctly? Does this make sense? If I were to walk through it, if I was someone who was just looking at it, what would I think of Kevin? I want them to think Kevin is very educated, he's very qualified, and he works in this industry. So, you know,
And right now, you do not have a brand. Now, when you create your LinkedIn, every keyword has to be SEO optimized for that. So soft skills, hard skills, technical
He's
skill.
very in depth here. Yeah, it looks like people are just talking about the STAR method. Yeah, okay.
My number one piece of corporate advice to you for 2026 is that you will find every loophole and exploit it. That you will find every area where you have an unfair advantage and use it to climb the ladder. Use it to gain more income. Use it to unlock and unleash opportunities. The people who climb the ladder and who become more successful do not seek responsibilities. They find leverage points. Those people are the one. That's the difference between those who are stuck being taskmasters and the ones who go on to get highly paid to do nothing. Those are the
I'm not even trying to hate, but I'm gonna keep it three stacks. 50% of people are probably not in this scenario. 50% of y'all can't take advantage of unfair advantages, can't find loopholes, can't, maximize for everything from earning potential to title, da da da. A lot of people need to take the humble approach. The humble approach is, hey, I really just need an opportunity to gain some skill and be able to demonstrate that on my resume. So I'm going to take this job that maybe doesn't pay how much I would like, but pays everything that I need, is going to give me a good place where an environment where I can learn and grow. And that's honestly what I hope for everybody in 2026, especially young professionals. I think older people have a bit of a case. If you're in your more mid-career to maybe, I don't know, late career. If you're late career, I'm surprised if you're watching this. But for early career, like post-college, post-undergrad, maybe post-grad school, you need to be finding places that are going to develop you. I once heard that was actually a great piece of advice given by, I forget who, but it was a great piece of advice that I heard that you need to find places that will actually invest time and resources to you. And that's why, for the most part of my career, I haven't really been unhappy anywhere I've been, because I've always tried to be in places that were willing to teach me things. Places that were willing to take a guy that maybe didn't know everything, but hey, teachable dude, we'll pour some resources into him and he'll get it,
Nobody else is going to tell you this but me, so lock in. You need to stop telling the truth in your job hunt if you actually want the job, and here's why. These companies and their hiring staff are rude. They're not looking to give you your first shot. They're not looking to hire unemployed people. And I knew this already. I get the game. I work in HR. I studied HR. I've been a resume writer. I'm a career coach. I get people six-figure remote jobs every single day. And there are specific tactics you need to put in place so that you don't look underqualified, undereducated, or unemployed. Why? Because they're kind of like Voldy. They're like a Voldemort. They're mad at the Muggle-borns and the Muggles, but they daddy is a Muggle. They're Muggle-born. They don't have the education. They don't fit the job description. They're not qualified, but they want you to be.
Boy, this is a hot take, man. But I've been saying this for years. I say, a lot of people who are responsible for determining which candidates are qualified are not qualified themselves. And that is probably one of the biggest issues that we have in today's job market. Because who do you have making the decisions? We say, the hiring managers are telling HR who they want, but then HR is using their own internal bias. And look, I get it. We need people in those roles, and chances are the person in that role isn't going to step down from X position to do that. However, there just needs to be a more comprehensive approach that really loops in industry experts to understand who's really qualified for a lot of these roles. Because what happens is this: the guy who is the hiring manager maybe they got someone along the way gave them an opportunity, right? The person who's the hiring manager, someone along the way gave them an opportunity. But then what ends up happening is, when it's time for them to hire, they're probably willing to give someone an opportunity who's maybe from a similar background or maybe doesn't have everything. But then based off of the qualifications that they gave HR is like, no, we only the best, only the best, only the best, or what's perceived as the best. And a lot of times it just really cuts a lot of people who would be great candidates for roles out of these positions. And it's really sad. But she says something interesting there, especially to start. She said, you should not be telling employers the truth. And it comes with the territory, right? But let's just call it what it is. If you don't tell employers the truth during your interviews, you're lying. right? You're lying. And what does that mean for yourself in the job market? Well, from a competitive standpoint, right, it's like game theory. Do you think everyone who gets a job is telling the truth in their interviews? Probably not, right? So if not everyone's telling the truth, and you're the one telling the truth, and the truth is to your disadvantage, then you might want to reconsider. Now, let's be clear about what we're saying, what you might want to reconsider. When someone's asked if you've done a certain process before and you haven't, if you can speak to it, you might as well say that you have, because then it makes you look that much more capable. A great example is, hey, have you built a model before? You haven't? Oh, I'm going to take the guy who's built models, or the gal that's built models. Okay, have you ever handled this delivery before? Yes, even though you haven't. And they say, okay, can you explain to me how it goes? And you can really speak to it, then kudos to you. You might actually get that job. You know what I mean? But if you say yes and you tell the lie, and then you can't actually speak to how to do that function, now you're in a lot of trouble in the interview, right? Because you've basically been caught in a lie. But anything you can speak to, if I were you, it's free game, because believe me, your competitors who are also applicants, they're saying doing whatever they got to do to get in the door. So,
why should we hire you? Say this to become the top candidate. It's one of the most loaded interview questions you'll ever face, and most candidates give weak, generic answers. But if you say this, you instantly become the top candidate in the room. Here's what you say. While I'm sure the other candidates bring a lot to the table, the thing that sets me apart is this. When I'm put head to head with anyone, I will outwork them every time. I follow through, I follow up, and if I mess something up, I own it. No excuses. Then let that sit. Now, here's why that answer works. It signals confidence without arrogance. It focuses on...
Bro, I'm not going to lie to you, bro. You are not going to get a job saying that. I'm not going to fade you. But it's not the worst answer in the world, right? Saying you work harder than everyone, everyone's going to say they work harder than everyone. Saying that you follow up is actually an expectation of the job. You have to follow up, right? I would say when it comes to the why should we hire you, you really need to get philosophical and think about who you are as a person. That actually makes you different than people. And yes, it's cliche. I get it. But you may have real experiences that really can set you apart. So a great example, if someone asked, why, you want to work for, let's say, a manufacturing company, you're coming in for design, right? And they ask, why should we hire you over the other candidates? Johnny, we have a couple different people. They have the same qualifications, I would speak to personal things about Johnny. Like, hey, well, me, myself, I know that I have actual expertise that I can bring to the table from day one. You see where I'm getting at? So Johnny, unlike the people who are applying for this job, have actually completed some of the functions and actually have some input that I believe could boost the results of this team, whether it's in quality or in efficiency or da-da-da. And so you can really start speaking to things that you can actually bring day one that make sense and add value to the team. And I get it. These are all buzzwords, bro. But they stick out a lot better than I work harder than everybody else. Or I follow up, because that's expected of you. I'm going to tell you, hey, day one, I'm coming in. You're going to feel my presence. Pause. Day one, I'm coming in and I'm going to add to the revenue. Day one, I'm coming in and I'll be one of the best. Like, that stuff hits a bit deeper. Shout out to Unc. This probably worked for him in 1995 when he was getting to it, right? But this ain't going to work today.
Stop being loyal. Staying at one company for longer than 2 years is career suicide. I job hop every 12 months.
Boy, oh boy. Let me tell you something right now. You better know your industry. You better know your industry. If your industry is not an industry that hires 1 year hoppers, then you better stay at places for 2 and 3 years, if not 5. She probably works in tech. I'm going to take a wild guess and say they probably work in tech. Let's keep watching.
And this allowed me to make over $200,000 a year by the age of 25. If you're sitting around at a company thinking that they're going to give you a promotion, thinking that they're going to give you a raise, you might be waiting around for years on years on years. I see people that sit around in the same jobs waiting for these raises and promotions, and they never come around, and they wonder why. And then when they start to go look for jobs on the job market, their skills are out of date. So if you want to always be in demand, you want to make the most amount of money in your career, you got to start moving around and stop staying stagnant. You don't owe.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. No, you do not owe these companies loyalty. They will all fire you like this, right? But the job hopping, again, know your industry. I'm going to take that guess again and say this person probably works in tech, right? Where that's appropriate to job hop 2 years. And actually, it's kind of expected. Just the nature of layoffs and companies giving, fat, exit fees to try and join other companies. But I'll tell you this. Boy, you come work in banking, you start hopping around every 2 years, man, you'll ice up so quick. Or let me think of another industry. Man, you start working at law firms and hovering around every 2 years, you'll get frozen. You'll get frozen out because employers will ask you, hey, you've been here for 1 year, here for 2 years, here for 3. Like, are you soul searching what's going on? Because a lot of employers do want people to pour into. And I would tell you this. Making the most money out of your career or getting into leadership. Those are two different things. They're two different things, but guess what? One of them kind of has both, and that's leadership. I hate to say it. Leaders get paid a lot to do what they do. Leaders usually don't have to do the day-to-day job anymore. Leaders usually sit in meetings. If you want to be a leader in your industry, chances are you're going to have to demonstrate some level of loyalty because people want loyal leaders. Right? If you're a leader that jumps ship every 2 years, well, the company's not going to have much leadership because you'll be all over the place. This is a very dangerous piece of advice. I would probably recommend this for the mid-career people. I think early career, you really need to be focused on learning, developing, pouring into yourself. 200K at 25 years old, that sounds great. I mean, I would sign up for that all day, but I'm also smart enough to know probably in tech. I don't work in tech, so me bouncing around every 2 years to get to 200K, probably not going to happen. I probably do need to demonstrate that I can sit somewhere and learn and actually contribute to a team because every time you jump 2 years, I don't even know what you're going to say you really contributed if you did multiple jobs. Yeah, and so on the type of technical job you got, yeah, someone said it best. And then, yeah, that's another piece to it. Like, you can job hop in the company. I think that's probably the most underrated type of job hopping people don't talk about. Like, you can job hop in the company to roles that will pay you higher over time. So, I've seen it. I've actually been a part of it. Like, hey, you're unhappy with your current role. A lot of companies are like, hey, once you've worked a year, dude, go do whatever you want. You're more than welcome to try applications. And I think that'll give you a much better route of moving and so forth. So yeah, that's what I would tell you.
These companies any loyalty because they're not going to.
In the workplace, slow down. Do yourself a favor and don't do things so quickly. Don't walk everywhere so quickly. Don't put your hands up for all the new projects. Stop going in early and staying late. Don't go above and beyond because it doesn't pay off. You're not going to get rewarded, no extra pay. So do yourself a favor, especially as we go into 2026. Put yourself first. Think about you. Remember the harsh reality. You are just a number.
Okay, he's almost there with it. He's almost there with it, right? I was with him. He lost me in the first half, but then he got me back in the second half, okay? And I'll put it like this. In the workplace, do not strive to be a slave. Like, duh. Don't do that. Don't just be coming in super early just to impress everyone. Don't be raising your hand for everything to impress everyone. But make sure you impress yourself. When you're in a role, if you feel like there's something you need to learn, go learn it. Don't be on the sidelines waiting for someone to teach you. Go learn that thing. If there's an opportunity to get better at something, go do that, right? If showing up early gives you more time to be a better worker, show up early. If you feel like you need more time when work is slowing up, stay late, but do it on your own merit where it makes you feel comfortable and you're in control. Because that will allow you to gain a lot of confidence, not just in the role, but to know that when you're ready to do something else, you have the work ethic. Because I think that's something a lot of people sort of forfeit today is that work ethic is everything. You got to believe in and it really is what will allow you to believe in yourself whenever it's time to do something different. And that's the piece I think maybe he gets to it, but don't be an ant, don't run the rat race, but make sure you're doing well unto yourself and pushing yourself for you. Do it for you. Don't do it for your boss, don't do it for your coworkers, despite what they may tell you, but do it for you. Like, be great because you want to be great. If you don't want to be great, find something and somewhere that makes you feel a sense of urgency to be great, right? Because you should be somewhat passionate about what you do. Maybe it's not what you do today, but what it'll give you the potential to do tomorrow. Or maybe it's your kids' lives that you'll be able to improve your financial situation. Like, I used to tell that to a lot of interns all the time, like, hey, like, a job is a job is a job. If it pays you six figures and you get a house out of it, like, how mad are you going to be afterwards, right? So, hey.
Tell me about yourself. Here's the answer that actually gets you hired. Everyone freaks out over tell me about yourself. But here's the reality. They're not asking for your life story, and they're not asking for your resume again. They're asking, who are you as a human? And is there anything about you that's interesting enough for us to want to know more about you? So here's a fresh way to answer it that nobody else is doing. Because remember, the thing you're trying to do in the job interview is to stand out from your competition. So step one, start with your human core. Give them about 10 seconds of who you are at your center, your personality, your values, the thing that drives you. Something like, I'm someone who takes a lot of pride in being dependable. I grew up in a family where you do what you say you're going to do.
Okay, I mean, Unc is killing me. You feel me? Because some of his answers, I'm like, yo, he getting this from his 1995 entry-level joint. But all jokes aside, though, he is right about a lot of this, right? When someone says, tell me about yourself, after you've already, run through your resume, or like, hey, Kevin, what's something else we need to know about you? I think it's a great opportunity to become likable, right? And get likable again in the interview, which is telling them, hey, yeah, obviously, I'm this professional, I'm da-da-da, but I'm also like someone you wouldn't mind grabbing a beer with. Like, I'm definitely someone you wouldn't mind being in the office with for, 15 straight hours. I'm definitely someone that you wouldn't mind grabbing lunch with. I'm definitely someone you wouldn't mind, XYZ. So I would definitely, spend a lot of time, spend a lot of time thinking about who you are, what parts of yourself you'd want to share. Because that's the piece that's important. You don't need to share everything. Like, if you're someone who binge drinks on the weekends, probably don't want to share that. And they probably shouldn't hire you. But if if you're someone who keeps up with sports, it's like, hey, yeah, let them know, hey, this is my favorite team, man. I support them and da-da-da, because sports is always a talking point in the workplace. Or if you're someone that, has a favorite hobby, maybe you never know. Maybe the person you're speaking to might share that same hobby, or maybe they're interested, want to learn more. Like, this is a good time to present yourself as a human being, right? But I love some of these comments. I'm just here to get money, bruh. Let's see.
If you have zero passions whatsoever and all you care about is making as much money as possible, here are the best career choices that you could pick. All right, number one are jobs within the finance sector, such as accounting, financial analyst, actuary, etc.
Hello?
Hey, Rachel, it's Eric Finch calling about the open SDR position at MongoDB in Austin, Texas. How's it going?
Fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you taking the call. And I just wanted to quickly reach out to you directly. I actually submitted my application this morning, and I'm based here in Austin, Texas. I'm actually graduating from UT Austin here in the spring. I just wanted to reach out and introduce myself because I love what you guys are doing, not only as a company, your share price, not only all the cool Fortune 500 companies you work with, but also I know from an SDR level, you guys have a dedicated boot camp and a track record of taking people right out of school. And, within 3 to 5 years, they're working with some of the biggest companies in the world, which really excites me. But I digress. Really, my point in reaching out was to introduce myself, and I'd love to learn more what you're looking for in a top candidate.
Yeah, listen, I'm glad that you're interested in the role. I'm glad that you applied. But honestly, we get about 800 applicants per week who are interested in this role. And so I honestly I don't have time to speak with each person that applies. I think I'd recommend you wait until somebody reviews your application and reaches out with next steps.
No, I appreciate that. And, like I mentioned, that's why I wanted to cold call you directly.
Cold calling is crazy as hell for this stuff, man. Like I don't recommend that at all. But okay, we've had our fun on the job interview space, man. I think we'll transition. How to get a job next time. Okay, she ain't giving us no game. All right. All right. Something I'm excited to talk about industry, man. Industry. Oh, let me share this screen.